Hey you guys, I am Dr. Cade and I'm sitting here with Coach Cason, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the lymphatic system, some things that make that system function less optimally, and then some things that you can do at home to help improve your lymphatic system, and of course enjoy all the benefits that comes along with that. So we need to talk first a little bit about what is the lymphatic system. We've heard that term, or the lymph system, right? What exactly is it, what's it responsible for, and why it's very, very important. We need to talk about some things that will make that worse, make that lymphatic system really struggle and bog it down. And then lastly, we're going to talk about, again, some things that you can do at home to optimize your lymphatic system. So, Cason, from my understanding, the lymphatic system kind of is twofold, right? What it's doing is storing and housing and transporting white blood cells, right?
Important.
Very important. And that's a huge part of our immune system and our immune response. And then it's kind of also the sewer system, where it's draining a lot of the waste products out of our body. And a lot of people, I think, have felt lymph nodes, like when maybe they get a sore throat or they're sick a little bit and they kind of feel it here. That's the only place that lymph nodes are, right?
No, it's everywhere. I've heard, and I don't know how true this is, but that the lymph fluid outnumbers the blood 10 to 1. So we are water. We talked about that in a video previous, and the lymph is a big part of that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild to think that it's that numerous. And when if you want to ask Dr. Google and look up maybe some of the schematics of the lymphatic system, it's basically everywhere, and tied together very intimately with our digestive system, our circulatory system. Kind of stays away maybe from the nerve system a little bit, but very, very important, right?
Yeah.
So we've got lymph nodes here, everywhere else, right? When they get big and swollen, is that a bad thing that's happening?
Well, I just learned this from Dr. Cade today. When they swell up, it's actually a good thing because it's storing white blood cells, right?
Love it.
The body is reproducing white blood cells to help to fight an infection or whatever's going on.
So I think we're kind of trained to think that if that's present, that it's bad. But what we always like to say is your body's smart; it's not stupid, right? Healing comes from the inside out, and your body wasn't taught to do this or taught you that. It has an innate intelligence inside of it that knows how to respond appropriately, right? And so if those lymph nodes are swollen up, it just means to give your body a little bit of some extra support, right? And so that leads us into the next thing. What are the things that are going to make that lymphatic swell up, right? That lymphatic system stay stagnant, right?
Yeah.
What are the things?
So what's causing it?
Yep.
This gets back to minimizing exposure.
Yeah.
Maybe it is toxic water or the standard American diet or being in a chair all day and not moving. So I don't know.
This storm kicked up a bunch of stuff. It went through the Caribbean and it brought all of the stuff that's in the Caribbean that we might not be exposed to on a day-to-day basis. A lot of the junk and the sewage that came up, right? Being sick is going to flare that up, or being exposed consistently to sicknesses, viruses, bacteria, that kind of stuff. And then of course not moving and sugar and dairy. All of those things can cause issues with the lymphatic system. So I guess that leads us to the next question.
Well, that's what I was ready for, movement.
What the heck do people need to do about it? So go ahead, I'll let you take it with movement.
Yeah, so we got to move. The lymph is meant to flow and move. And so when we bounce, when we walk, when we run, that lymph is getting movement. We're helping it. Every muscle contraction is helping the lymph to move. So get active. And then some easy things to do are rebounding. A little mini trampoline, or even jump roping, or just jumping in place. You watch little kids and they're constantly bobbing around all the time, and their lymph is flowing like perfect. So, what else? Vibration.
Yeah, we've got whole body vibration plates here at the office, but even so many people have those percussion guns at home. That's a huge thing to stimulate lymphatic flow. And if you don't have something like that, you can get a cheap electric toothbrush, right? And so again, if you're somebody that's got an ear infection, a lot of times we'll do this with children or really anybody, is we'll take the butt end of an electric toothbrush and kind of try to drain that lymphatic tissue down from the ear so that we stop that congestion and get it flowing, right? So that we get out the waste products and that bad bacteria that the viruses are trying to, that our blood cells are trying to kill, right? And then bring some new nutrition in at the same time. That's huge. Yeah, I love the vibration plates. I love the rebounding and jumping and running and just being active. All of that stuff is fantastic. Swimming is another one where we don't really quite get that impact. That's going to cause that maybe, I would say, maybe the impact, right?
Sure.
But when we are swimming through the water is almost massaging through our arms and through our skin. And we all know that when you dive a little bit deeper, that pressure's a little bit more.
Yep.
So all of that stuff stuff is great. How about, do we talk about skin brushing? Did you bring that one up?
No, we didn't talk about that dry brushing, skin brushing, massage.
Yep.
And then the big one we missed is sweating.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we should maybe go back. That's probably the number one sign that your lymphatic system isn't working properly, correct?
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is when you move, you sweat.
Yep.
So
or you should sweat.
You should sweat, yeah. But we see a lot of people that don't, and that's a big red flag.
It is.
So, yeah, we need to sweat. We need to sweat well, and we probably need to sweat more.
So, if we're not sweating and we're not eliminating and having regular bowel movements, that means that our body isn't eliminating toxins, and whatever that is from environmental exposures to other things, it means that eventually we're going to have a detox issue, right?
Sure.
A toxicity issue.
A load.
Yep.
That we can't get rid of.
So is there anything else we want to talk about? Do you want to give, other than movement and the things we talked about?
I don't know, supplements?
Yeah, so this is a big one. We always like to talk about magnesium being a really good option and supplementing with maybe an electrolyte mineral mix. But can I take a different route? Can we talk about maybe some essential oils?
Yeah.
I think lemongrass and black pepper are the two essential oils that are fantastic. And so you can just mix that, maybe with cut it with an oil of your choice, like an olive oil or a jojoba oil, and just apply anywhere that you're feeling some lymphatic congestion, right? Another really good one would be Lymph Tone. There's a great, it's a homeopathic mixture from Energetics, and they've got Lymph Tone 1 and Lymph Tone 2, and you can kind of look through, the things that they've got on there as far as symptoms on how to match it up. Like one is more for swelling glands, another one's more for like nasal discharge and like itchy skin, but you can match that up by looking on their website. Energetics is spelled with an X. And again, if you're struggling to sweat, if you're struggling with chronic swollen glands, frequent immune system issues, trouble sweating, those are some things that you can do to look into it and improve that on your side. So,
Sure.
Anything else we want to say?
I think that's it. Is that what was the last supplement you said, or
Energetics, the Lymph Tone.
Is that topical or is that oral?
That's an oral.
Okay.
Yep. So you'll just hold that underneath your tongue, and it's a homeopathic mixture. So you want to do it. You can stay away from things like peppermint or things like coffee. That kind of plays around with the potency of it. But I'm no expert in homeopathic remedies. We just kind of like using these things as a blend.
Yeah.
But you can dive deep into that realm, and it's incredibly helpful. And it's a great thing to do. We've got kids in our house, so it's an easy thing to give to them. It's not a battle. It's not a fight, and it works great.
Yeah,
so
awesome. No, I think we hit it all.
Yeah, I think so too. So thank you guys for joining us. We've talked a lot about the liver. We've talked about the lungs. We've talked about the lymph today. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us. Again, I am Dr. Cade, and this is Coach Cason. Until the next time.